Welcome back to Sim Project. As you can see, the TBM GA 3D printed glass panel is powered up running. Something that I said in a video I made about 4 days ago wouldn't happen for a few months. I get rambunctious this week. Stick around and I'll give you a tour of the back side of the panel and I'll show you how we get those monitors set up. So quick little wiring highlight. Looking at the back side of the panel, so of course this side over here is actually the dummy G1000 where vPilot will display, the G1500 in the center, and the actual G1000 running with the sim. So up top side, remember from the last video, so there's the controller card for the radio panel, the USBs. I'm gonna try and clean these up. I don't know really what to do. They're the shortest ones I could find for this. I have a USB powered hub up top up there. Let me get the light over here so we can see a little better. I went and found it. It is a 12-volt hub, so it was able to power off everything. The backlighting as well for all the switches stuff. I got a relay to control that. Currently, that will come on live the moment I turn the panel on. The idea is eventually, once I figure it back out, this Arduino card off the G1500 has got all kinds of free input outputs that will eventually control this relay through the panel light switch on the SATEC panel, which I'll show you here in a minute once we flip things around. So it goes up to the G1000 into there, and then from there we've got 12 volts coming out here to run the G1500 backlighting, and another 12 volt feed off the 1000 over the radio panel. Power lines for the monitors, they're all 12 volts. Now, in the last video I did have this down here, and I was gonna mount all the cards for the monitors on standoffs on the back of the wood. I've decided against that. I mean, I know it's tie wraps, it's not really the nicest thing, but this allows me to simply pull the plugs, the HDMI, I haven't got any HDMI cables run yet. This lets me pull the 12 volt power out of each unit and simply pull the screws out and lift the whole unit out as a single piece. I'm not worrying about trying to get panels off, and that way if I want to upgrade or change something, or if I need to replace something, literally the whole module comes out as one. I did the same with the dummy G1000. I've tightened cables and stuff up a little better. But up the top side up here, this is the 12 volt voltmeter to watch the voltage coming off the power supply. It also doubles as an amp meter. And anybody knows anything about electrical, yeah, this is a weird thing. I'm going to throw the wiring diagram up this. I didn't expect this to wire with a dual ground and actually measure the current through the ground. That was a little weird to me, truthfully. I bought it off Amazon. It didn't even come with any wiring diagrams of how to do it. So a little Google search figured that out. The mistake I made, see this really nice setup. I got this really nice power supply mounted in here, coming off a 120 volt cable. And yes, there's no fuses here yet. My fuse block is coming. It hasn't shown up yet, but that red block will be replaced by a fuse block to fuse the 120 side. And then same thing going out here on the 12 volt side. I will change that and put a small fuse there. Anyways, I screwed up. That's a 5 volt power supply. I plugged everything in, turned it on, checked the voltage, and it said 5 volts. So I don't know how I ordered a 5 volt by mistake. So 12 volt will be coming. It'll be here later in this week. And so I had to just throw some quick jumpers in to go back to my external 12 volt supply. But yeah, a little terminal block here with our negatives and our positives, and the 120 separated over here. Coming out, that relay, and everything's coming out. Some nice supports to keep it clean. And yeah, that's about it on the backside. Yeah, like I said, got a couple fuses to go in. Yeah, I didn't wire number anything, but really and truly some of the wires are so short. I mean, you can see what I did do is if you look at the way they're, if I had a diagram and if I was to sort it all out for you, the first block comes off the voltage meter. The second block powers this monitor. The third set of blocks on both. So I they're paired. So, this block corresponds to this one and this one and this one all the way down until you get to the end. There are some extra ones down here. And yeah, I know for the electrical guys out there, normally your power would be on the top and you should feed everything off the bottom. I didn't do that. I put the cross ties. Well, the block I bought on Amazon, it came with one set of gray cross ties and one set of center ties. But I didn't want wiring down here because I don't want this exposed. I don't want, reaching underneath of it and hitting stuff and things like that with wires. So everything came out of the top. Power goes in on the top and out on the top. But yeah, so I'm going to spin this around and pull things apart, and we'll plug it in, and fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, just fired Microsoft Flight Simulator up. Normally I run full screen, but of course when it starts, I start in Windows mode just because it's easier to work with. So basic, now ironically, yes, this is what I'm calling a TBM panel, and I am starting with the default Beechcraft. That's just the way I want to start things, make life simple. Anyways, so you got a couple options here. You can, when I move the damn mouse down here, let me grab my keyboard here. I don't have enough hands to hold the camera and do all this. So we'll change our viewpoint a little bit. So if I hold the mouse over the G1000, I don't know if, let me see if the camera will pick that up. So you can see the mouse pointer. If you hold the right Alt key down with your mouse there, you get the plus sign. So if you were to hit that Alt, when the plus sign comes up, then hit your left mouse click button, that'll actually open that as a second screen. Now, the problem is you got to move it around, you got to resize it, because that stuff doesn't always save. I've played with this 2 or 3 times, and it says it's supposed to, it just doesn't. So what I'm using instead, up here I have a shortcut for a program called MSFS Pop-Out Panel Manager. It's actually what I use for popping the panel of the Honda Jet out on this display. It'll also support touchscreens, where if you simply use the right Alt left mouse click to blow that window out. Of course, the G1000 not touchscreen, but if you are using it for something like, say, the GTN 750 or 570s, whichever it is, in the Vision Jet, or the panel in the Honda Jet, which do support touchscreens, by default, MSFS does not support that. Pop-Out Panel Manager does. So let's open that up. And it's a really low resource program, doesn't use a whole lot of power. So there we go. I've already set this up. So it's just a basic G1000. It's seen the Assault Bonanza G36. I've got my 2 panels in, and all I'm going to do is click Start Pop-Out, and it'll do its little thing, and we'll watch, and it'll open all the panels, put them over here, put them in full screen, and make everything work for us. It takes a second to adjust camera angles to get what it wants. Okay, there's the G1000 up, and the 1500. And waiting for it to finish. It's still closing out. There we go, it's done. And as you can see, boom, boom, now it clicked on both full screen. Now the other thing you can do, and it's kind of hard to see a little bit, but you can see the top little bit of the 1500 is getting cut off up there. Actually, more so, it only seems to one side. I think maybe the screen's not down all the way. You can use this program and go in. Now I've got it locked so I don't make a change by mistake, but I can adjust positions and sizes of all those windows right there. So that makes that a lot nicer to use that way. And like I said, like you just saw how quick and stuff it is. There's no mouse clicks and select this and drag and drop and resize and do all that. You open it up. I have it set to start with Flight Sim through FSU IPC. When it starts, it loads that. And then now the only drawback with it, it won't display anything until you power the aircraft on. Now I can shut the aircraft off and the screens will stay up, but unfortunately it's just a limitation of the way the software works. It's freeware. Maybe they'll figure it out eventually, but the big one with this is it supports touchscreens. And as you can see there, that's that little symbol right there is, for a touchscreen. Those aren't touchscreen monitors, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so we'll go over here. Now we'll full screen this up. We'll get that out of the way. We don't need any more. And there we go. So there's our G1000, or our 2 G1000s in this case, seeing we're in the Bonanza, or in the Beechcraft. And there they are, mirrored over here. And as you can see, we can run the engine up. And just like everything else working the same way. So yeah. So that's it. The panel's powered. Now, the next thing I have to do is, of course, it's over there, I'm over here. I'm gonna take this stuff apart. My Satec autopilot, the display quit. That's not an issue with the USB power save. It just quit working here a little while ago. That autopilot panel's probably 25 years old, believe it or not. And I bought it used from a friend of mine. So yeah, so it's seen a lot of life. That one's good. The radio panel and the switch panel, I've had those, well, I've had them 10 years or sort of deal. So they are a little newer. But yeah, so that's dead. That's coming out because we are working on an autopilot for up there. The radio panel is going to come out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it for now. I'm going to build a stack here to hold. There's something else. I'll put a little clip of at the end of the video I found I'm going to work on. And the switch panel, temporarily for now, it's going to get mounted right here underneath the 1500, and that'll put it right about here. Really kind of not where, you know, you want it, because it's just the start and stuff, but the gear lever's in the right spot, some of the switches, and you know, for now, until I either come up with a better idea for switches or a better simulator in general, I think it'll work perfectly for that. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up like that. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know, subscribe to the channel if you like. It's totally up to you. I'm not trying to make a living or anything doing this, or trying to fund my hobby. Yeah, it's just something I want to do and I want to share. My adventures and challenges with everybody else. With consumer grade 3D printers now, this is making things so much more exciting for us home cockpit builders. But yeah, so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna end this here. In the next video, I'll get into the MobiFlight stuff, so we can make all these buttons and switches work, because as you can see right now, they're not doing anything. Till next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you then.